Network.
Morning, everybody. February 11th, 2016. And if you weren't around for the record-breaking information, Bernie Sanders did a little fundraiser the night of the New Hampshire primary win. And just going to check audio real quick. Hi, everybody. But if you didn't catch that, we raised $7 million in, I don't know, a day for Bernie Sanders. All he said was, I'd like you to go here now and donate, please. One ask. Bernie really hasn't done a lot of asking for money. We know to donate, and he says the typical thing, but he's never really just, everybody right now, please go donate. It was the most beautiful thing. And I'm going to show you a screen snap. Good morning, everybody. Hi. Let me know how out of sync or in sync my voice is. Still trying to work that out. We've got Celeste with us in the background. Janine is the elusive, amazing Janine is supposed to show up. That'll be really nice. Okay, it may be at 6.2 mil. The last thing I heard was 7 mil. I'm waiting to confirm that number. I know that we, the Scott Bakula of progressive politics. That's fucking awesome. Scott Bakula is an awesome guy. Scott Bakula is an awesome guy. Stop signing. Okay, we're going to talk about superdelegates. Chill your shit on the superdelegates. Sign the petition for sure, but we're going to talk about superdelegates, what they mean, why they're really not that important. They're not that important, folks, but we're going to talk about that. Voices in sync. Thank you. You're either Lyle or Lily. I apologize if I'm saying alum. I'm terrible with names. Dio Frater, Dutch for Bernie. How you doing? Jazz, Bad Wolf, Executive Decision. Jesse Ferris. Hi, Jesse. Like I said, Janine's here. Brenda Brown. How you doing? Yeah, Brenda, did you just post it? It was over 7 mil. You've been tracking it. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. Yes. And that's my fundraiser. Yeah, that's his fundraiser. We are so powerful. This is the other thing. We're going to look at what ActBlue had to say about this. But Bernie broke ActBlue. He did. He broke it. Lip sync good. Thank you. Go contribute now. And so good. Did you see the cover? Look, this is Steph's cover, guys. This is incredible. I wish I looked this good. I wish I had a suit like that. The desk is a little small, but that's beautiful. That's Cronkite. That's great artwork there. I love that stuff. Steph makes me look good. That's hard to do. That's really hard to do. Okay, so let's talk about some things here. We're gonna pull that up. I've got a slide to look at. So everybody remembers this crazy shit, I think. Where'd it go? This crazy shit. Remember this? You're like, this is what a political revolution looks like, John. Take a look at the response. Remember all that? That was freaking crazy. 7.4 mil raised. Yeah. It got me smiling in that. That was a rare moment. More than one. So here's the cool numbers. Here's the really cool numbers. Bernie says, go donate, please. Boom. ActBlue servers blow up. We're going to look at the number that I have on the cover card, 333,000 RPM. 333,000 RPM. And then we're going to talk about what ActBlue says that means in comparison. How huge that was in comparison to the other numbers. This is, so far, here's what's amazing. I'm guessing it's more than 3.8, 3.9, 4 million. You need to get a cool Bernie t-shirt. I have a Bernie t-shirt, but it's bright. What I need is a sweatshirt. I want a Bernie black sweatshirt or a hoodie. I got to get me one of those. I keep thinking about that, but I need to go order it. I tried to donate when Bernie, we were broadcasting, and on my same server, I'm like, I'm going to open up a tab. We're just listening to Bernie, things we're doing in the overlay, and I'm going to try to go to ActBlue and donate some money. Nope, wouldn't work for me. ActBlue was spinning wheels. Server was cranking. Here's what ActBlue had to say. What I was going with the numbers, folks. Here's where I was going with the numbers. More than 1 million donors. Now let's clarify the numbers. 1 million donors, more than 3.8 million, probably 4 million at this point, individual contributions from those 1 million donors. Okay. Now, that's just 1 million of us. 1 million of us that they track have raised the money for Bernie Sanders so far. We know that there's more than 1 million of us that support him. He hasn't even begun to tap into his funds. This is when Hillary continues to send the message. I get, you guys are getting the email from Hillary and from Bill and from Chelsea, all saying, and from Robbie, whoever Robbie is. We've been outraised and we've been outspent. We need your help. Yes, you've been outraised by the 99, by us. I think it's $34 a piece average contribution at this point compared to the millions that you're getting. Your super PACs can't keep up. Your super PACs can make ads, but we have an infinite supply of people, passion, and shit. We'll print money if we have to. We'll sell shit to make sure we've got money to give to Bernie Sanders, because this is about saving our planet. This is about saving our democracy, and we have the world behind us. Here's what ActBlue has to say, and the reason I quoted 333,000 RPM. Okay, do you see that spike, that massive ridiculousness of spike? We're going to zoom in on this. Okay, requests per minute. That's what RPM stands for here, requests per minute. And yeah, look up Obama Boys. Yeah, the Obama Boys thing, she's getting slammed, guys. Hillary is a victim of the truth as documented on the internet. The establishment lost this election and will lose this election because they failed to grasp how the internet functions and why it's where the people are. But this is so numbers are fun, but pictures are more fun. Let's start with this graph. So, want to guess what time Senator Sanders told a national TV audience to go to BernieSanders.com and donate $27? So, for the briefest moment in time, we hit 333,000 requests per minute. Prior to last night, we'd never seen that number go above 40,000 requests per minute. So they had planned. Now understand, when they say we've never seen it go above 40,000 requests per minute, that's when it's being slammed, folks. They had prepped for that. And they knew this was going to happen. They knew Bernie was going to make this call. So they beefed up their servers. They beefed up their CDN. They planned for a higher number. They did not plan for 333,000 requests per minute. That's fucking badass. That's F-bomb worthy. 99 showing just, you want us to write a check, Bernie? Boom. Fuck you, George Soros. Fuck you, Citibank. Fuck you, every single establishment entity. We will invest in our future president, whatever it takes. That's badass. That's freaking badass. I just had to show that. We're going to talk about a couple things really quick. The point being on that, folks, they don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance. They can cheat. They can lie. They can use establishment media to distort the facts, distort the truth. Janine's coming in. Sorry, Janine. I'm just seeing your little square there. Yeah, Janine's coming in.
And John,
yes.
I dropped into live production a copy of the email I got from Bernie's campaign showing that they raised over $7,433,392 as of February 11th at 12:05 p.m. Eastern time.
Wow. I will
They
pull that
had,
up. I'll pull that up. Wow.
yeah, they had set a new goal of 7 million, and they've already received almost 500,000 over that.
Oh my God. That's the floodgates have opened, folks. We still have people to reach in America that don't even know who Bernie Sanders is. I'm sure it's a much smaller number at this point, but that's incredible. That's just freaking incredible, that number. I want to check live production because I haven't checked to make sure everything's cool. Is everything cool? Are we good with sound and audio and everything? That's the screenshot I was looking for. The news. Okay, 7. Wonderful. That's insane. That's insane. And how many people do we have with us right now? How many people do we have online? Right now, 76 of you viewing with us. That means there's probably more like
95.
100. 95 up there.
95.
That's excellent. Nice to have you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Just a couple things about what we've got going on, folks. Today, 4 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. for the rest of the world, 7 p.m. Eastern, we have Jeff Young. He's a 6th district candidate from Kentucky, and he will be on We the People. Angela Valdez, one of our volunteers and anchor for We the People, will be interviewing Jeff about Kentucky, about his views. He's a peacemaker, very much like Carter. A lot of respect for this guy, MIT grad. And we're happy to talk to him. So join us if you're from Kentucky. Meet one of your candidates. This is a Bernie-crat. We're going to talk to him today at 7 p.m. Eastern on We the People. Following that, there is the debate. Now, here's what's really cool. I'm showing you the PBS NewsHour feed, which is also in our links below. If you're watching the event live with us, obviously on YouTube, in the description of this event, there's a very long list of links, and this is one of them. The nice thing about this debate tonight, folks, is that it's not owned by a corporate entity, although CNN did get their grubby little fingers on it, okay? But this is PBS. It's being broadcast from PBS and then simulcast on CNN, which means that we can actually bring you the debate. We think. We're pretty sure. 90%. If it kills us, that'll be really shocking and surprising, and we'll come back on with another event like we've always done when they kill us. But we've made some calls. We're fairly certain because it's PBS. Anyway, we're giving you the link to go watch it on PBS if you want. Great. It's nice that it's going to be broadcast there and not full of CNN and other establishment media bobbleheads. But we will be carrying it on Bernie 2016 TV, which means we can do what we do. Have an engagement broadcast, show the lower thirds, have that discussion, create all that media and push it out. And that is super powerful for Bernie Sanders. So join us tonight and either watch it there or watch it with us. Notice that doesn't have the word meta in there. This is a regular old, we're going to watch the debate like we should be able to. We should have been able to do this with all of them, folks. But because of the abolishment of the Fair Use Act in 1986 and the setup of the Telecommunications Act in 1996, we are not allowed to carry the debates. They are owned by corporate media, even though they are political content, the most protected speech in the land according to the First Amendment, except for when the people want access to it, and then it's owned by CNN, ABC, Fox. But this debate tonight, luckily, is on PBS, sort of publicly owned, sort of publicly free, so we will get to carry it. Join us tonight for that. And look, guys, I don't have my blue swirlies going. Blue swirlies. There we go. That's that. Celeste, Janine, anybody want to add anything to that? Hi, Janine.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I have one quick correction for you.
Wonderful.
For the We the People episode tonight is actually hosted by Aniko Nolan.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so used to Angela doing it. I apologize, Aniko. Big time. Thank you. Thank you. Aniko Nolan, who's actually like the first reporter for us. She was in Arizona. She got Juan Mendez's endorsement for Bernie. And so, yeah, Aniko, wonderful. I forgot about that. Angela usually does We the People. And we have other hosts, too, like Nigel. But this is Aniko. Thank you, Janine. Sorry about that. How are you doing?
You're welcome. I'm doing good.
Everybody, Janine, the amazing person who's been on boots on the ground, not only for Rhode Island, but for New Hampshire. This is why she has been gone and we have not seen her. Any news from the battlefront, Janine?
No, we're happy about New Hampshire, obviously. I don't know if you had planned on talking about it later, but there is one thing I wanted to mention about New Hampshire and tying it back to Iowa. If you got a minute, I'll mention it now.
Go for it.
So one of the things that was surprising to me that I learned yesterday is that for the Democratic Party and the number of votes in New Hampshire, and even Bernie said, the turnout was great. We saw long lines. That was actually an increase in the Republican votes. The number of votes on the Democratic side went down.
Really?
Yes. And the same thing happened in Iowa. And really what I wanted to say about this thing is, we always talk about, getting out there and supporting Bernie. We need to show up.
Yeah.
Everybody who's listening to this, don't rely on other people getting out there and voting. The fact that the number of people who voted on the Democratic side in both Iowa and New Hampshire, we need to make sure that doesn't continue. We need to get people out there voting, and especially in some of these upcoming states where we potentially have a more difficult fight. People need to get out and vote on the Democratic side. So
that's
I just wanted to mention that.
Point. Yeah, I had no idea. I knew there were higher numbers, but that really scares the shit out of me that it was for the Republican side of things.
Yeah, I think it went down by like 40,000 votes or something. It was significant. So, yeah, I mean, it's great that he still won by the huge percentage that he did, and that's basically because he won every, all the breakdowns, he was way ahead.
Right.
But the fact is that the number of people that actually voted went down is, we need the turnout. Bernie always says we got to get people out there voting. So let's make sure we do that for him.
Thank you, Janine. Thank you for bringing that up. And listen, folks, that's huge. I'm just looking at what people are saying here in chat here. Fewer Dem candidates, yeah. This is we've all seen the meme where it's like 2/3 of the people saying I don't vote because it's not going to make a difference. Right? This is as dumb as climate change, folks. If we don't act, you're going to die. If you won't get off your ass and help your nation save itself, then, well, first, fuck you. And I don't mean that to anybody, here. It's just, it pisses me off. I mean, we have an opportunity now. We have to help our neighbors, help our friends, help anybody who's disinterested. Right? When Bernie comes here to Portland again, yes, I want to broadcast that. I'm going to figure out how. But when the battle comes to Portland, when I have to make a difference in my state, I'm going to be boots on the ground. We may end up not broadcasting a lot of Bernie TV because I want to make sure that I can make a difference here where it counts. Right? Maybe, and we'll figure out what that is, but we are an army, folks. We have to rise as an army and go show that we support Bernie. Physically, we have to stand. Because this is the only way the establishment is going to realize we mean what we say. And this is one of the tactics that they're going to use. Bernie's got a lot of hot air. He's got a lot of passionate youngsters who are all excited about politics, but when it comes time to it, they're going to stay stoned in front of the TV and not really give a shit about going down and voting. And it sounds like we lost votes in New Hampshire because there was disinterest, or people chose not to vote, or thought that it didn't matter. This is it, folks. We're going to talk about a Greek guy that Celeste actually connected with on Twitter, who's starting his own new government group to bring the same kind of logic and love and reasoning to government over there in Europe. We have a chance, folks. We've got an ultra-liberal in the UK. We've got this dude in Europe wants to start stuff. We've got Bernie Sanders over here. We can transform the globe into a liberal, loving peace train. What we really want it to be. Get rid of the knuckle draggers and the warmongers and the greedy asshole 1%. We can do this. We can do this. But we have to get asses off the couch. We have to stop watching establishment entertainment news, turn it off, turn off all of the external information. Turn off your mobile phone. Go vote. If we don't vote, we're going to die. It's not about just electing a president. It's about electing somebody who understands that what needs to happen with climate change is absolutely paramount to the survival of our species. And we do not have any candidate other than Bernie Sanders who gets that. Please, folks, go vote. We have to fucking vote. You can already do promote Bernie with Bernie swag and signs. Just reading some of the comments here. Can we talk about Bernie on Colbert? I didn't get a chance to watch Bernie on Colbert because ass is up. That's a new hashtag. Ass is up. I didn't get a chance to watch Bernie on I don't know what they call it, Colbert. It's funny. They're going to turn it into the Colbert Report, even though it's
The Late Show.
The Late Show, because nobody really. I have to say this. I haven't watched it lately, but I was really disappointed in the way Stephen was on The Late Show. I think they really cut back a lot of his talent, and there was argument over whether he was doing that to infiltrate like Dave Letterman did, and took him a long time, but whatever. It's the Colbert Report as far as I'm concerned. What were you going to say, Janine? You kicked in. Anything?
I was just going to say, some people were mentioning it in the chat room as well, is best thing we can do to help get out the vote is to phone bank.
Yes.
Sanders.com/phone bank. I'm telling you, it's simple, it's easy. I'm meeting with 30 people tonight to phone bank. We're going to be calling Nevada and South Carolina. Just do it. It's the best thing you can do to help Bernie, and you can do it right from home.
And I promise I will do some damn phone banking. I promise I will.
Good.
I'm going to do phone banking. We're going to maybe, Janine, we need to do another phone banking party.
Okay.
We need to do another phone banking party. So we need to figure out when we can do that, get some people together, see where Lou is, what's going on with him, because Nevada's next, right?
Nevada is next, yeah.
Okay. So.
And Nevada is a caucus, and it's an odd caucus, and because I think it's a closed one, so you have to be registered as a Democrat, I believe, to get in there. So, and it's probably too late to change, over. But, we need people in Nevada to show up, go to the caucus,
Right.
Wear your Bernie gear, speak up, show your support for Bernie.
Absolutely. It's what we need to do, folks. I'm reading the comments here, and yeah. You guys tell us about what he had to say. Yeah, Harry Belafonte endorsed Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
Yes, we are talking about phone banking. You could do a smoke and bank party. I'd love to do that. That would be fine. Whatever we want to do, folks. And if you're an Oregon business, a Portland business, whatever, and you want to offer your facility for that, we'll come make a broadcast of it. All right. We'll come down there. We'll broadcast. We'll make a fun thing. I'm looking for partners in Portland. I don't really have a lot of support here, so that would be great. But let's move on. Thank you for that on the phone banking. Let's move on to some other things. I want to bring this up really quick. I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on with Michael Moore, folks, but when we talk about getting ass off the couch, when we talk about doing something, this man has been an activist against the corruption and bullshit going on in our nation for a long time. Right? Now, many of you may not know this, but I was a Columbine grad, and I was living in Littleton at the time with the Columbine incident, and I remember what was going on then. And while I was not involved, and none of my siblings were involved, we were all older. There were friends of mine. As a matter of fact, my wife's younger siblings were in school at the time of the incident, and both were affected. And our family was affected. A lot of the whole Columbine neighborhood was affected. And Michael Moore's movie, Bowling for Columbine, really meant a lot to us. And that was where I first learned of him. The man has made numerous movies. Sicko is a brilliant movie, a very sad, disgusting movie if you haven't seen it. He's got a new movie out, and this is Where to Invade Next. And if you haven't seen the trailer, which I had planned on loading up and watching, and I didn't, go watch this. Michael Moore needs your help, though. Here's a guy who has he's from Flint, Michigan, and he's that's his hashtag on Twitter is MMFlint. He has done more activism and more to raise awareness of what's going on in our country, not to be a politician, not to run for any kind of office. He's just doing this to get our attention. He's been doing this for a long time. Mainstream media ignores this guy because he tells the truth. he puts these movies out in theaters. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but right now Michael Moore is home, but he shouldn't be home. He should be in a hospital. He's very sick. He's just released this movie. He's got another website here, which I had pulled up. Where to go? Here it is. Michael Moore. It's just michaelmoore.com. I'm just going to show the homepage here. Go here. Learn what he's got going on. Watch the trailer to the movie. Watch the movie. Go find the movie. It's out and released now. And what this guy did with Where to Invade Next was go around to other nations and get their perspective on what America is like now and what America does. And the most interesting line from all of this, if you're not interested in going, this might pique your interest. You're talking to somebody in some socialist country, Norway, Denmark, one of those countries, and the guy said, everything we do here came from America. All these socialist programs, everything we've got, our health care, or the way our government works, all came from American ideas that we kept building upon. We said, that's a really good fucking idea. Let's take that and run with it. And we did. The difference is in America, you guys stopped. And you said that would be a good program, but no, let's not do that. Let's go over here. Let's go to war. Let's make sure we make an elite group of people a shitload of money while we fuck the citizens. That's what didn't happen in Norway and Denmark and all those other socialist nations, was that they said, we're doing this as a government for the people. We're going to retain our integrity. Look at all these great American programs that when you continue them and grow and build them and put money into them instead of decades of war, instead of rich assholes' pockets, instead of companies like Halliburton, when you actually take these ideas and invest in them as a government with ethics and integrity, look at what happens to your fucking country. And Michael Moore made a movie about that, about the difference between the American warmonger machine and everybody else in the fucking world that looked at our great ideas decades ago and said, yeah, let's do those things. It's really a sad testament to where we sit today, to what establishment media has done to us. So please, help Michael Moore out. What I would like to do, and this is my offer to Michael Moore. Somebody wants to take this clip, send it to Michael Moore. I don't know if he'll watch this, but Mike, I know you've got this movie out in theaters. I'm not a big theater goer, and a lot of the younger generation, not so much. We like watching stuff on the web. Okay. Work with me. Let me add engagement broadcast to it so we can make it a discussion. You can come into our studio. It's a hangout when you're well enough to do so, and we can have you involved in that, kind of like a director's cut with live discussion. Michael Moore. Right? Let's make it a fundraiser so we have a place to go so people can donate to help you out or whatever cause you're interested in supporting. Right? Maybe it's just for Bernie. Right? But let's work together, Mike, because I'd much rather do this on the web. We have the technology, the resources, the ability to do this, and I'd like to help you raise money, raise interest, whatever it is you'd like us to do, Mike. I'm at your service. You've been at mine for a long time, so thank you. That's
Michael Moore actually sent an email out this morning,
and
he said, quote, I need you to be part of a quickly cobbled together army of grassroots ambassadors who can do the work I was going to do this week, because he's been in the hospital. He hasn't been able to do shows and promotions. The work I was going to do this week to let people know about the movie and convince as many people as possible to go see it. I realize you haven't seen Where to Invade Next, so I'm asking you to do this based upon my past work and your hope that I've made a compelling film that might affect change in this country, that will inspire people to think about things in a different way. I believe that's exactly what I've done, and many who've seen it agree. And so he's asking, will you help me spread the word about my new movie? Watch the trailer for Where to Invade Next, and then pledge to see it when it opens on Friday, February 12th.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I thought it was out. Thank you. Friday, February 12th. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There you go, folks. So, Mike, I want to help you. Friday, February 12th. We'll run that trailer tomorrow, folks. We'll run that trailer and the show. And it's perfect because we're going to have my dad on. And my dad's going to be with us talking about history, talking about politics. He's a hell of a lot smarter than I am in all of those things. So my dad will be joining us tomorrow. We'll run that Michael Moore trailer at the beginning of the show tomorrow. We'll be blasting it out today. You know what? I'm going to run it tonight for the debate. And, yeah, when we do our debate broadcast, we'll run that too. So help Michael Moore out, folks. He's a badass. He needs your help. We can be ambassadors for him. Yeah, and he endorsed Bernie in a big-ass way, folks, if you hadn't seen it. March for More. Oh, that's a nice hashtag. I like that. I like that. Maybe inspiring music. Interesting, guys. Nice. I like the way you're all thinking about different things. Thank you, Celeste, for dropping the trailer link in there. Yep, my dad. If you haven't, I've had my dad on before. He actually talked to us from Boulder, Colorado, when Bernie was at the Boulder rally. My dad lives in the town of Longmont, Colorado. Very interesting town, very socially forward. One of the few places where restorative justice is being practiced correctly in the United States, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. But moving on from Michael Moore, folks, I want to address, because everybody's been asking about this, superdelegates and why they just don't matter. I mean, of course they matter, but why nobody needs to be freaking their shit about superdelegates. And I'm going to reference, first, a little context. Let's just reference what Bernie Sanders' win, his trouncing in New Hampshire, really means, because there's a lot of things that mainstream media are not telling you about what it means, and I want to cover those things. So Bernie Sanders' win in New Hampshire primary Tuesday night came with some pretty impressive footnotes. 1, his margin of victory was the highest for a non-incumbent candidate in any state since JFK. 2, he won almost every demographic group: male, female, young, old, moderate, liberal, college-educated, high school-educated, with the exception of voters making more than $200,000 per year. He became the first Jewish candidate to win a state primary in U.S. history. He became the first non-Christian candidate to win a state primary in U.S. history. Those are some big-ass things. What it symbolizes is a big shift in the populace, a big shift in how we view things. And that shift needs to be applied to how everybody is analyzing what's going on. But superdelegates, just now that we have a little bit of context for what's going on there, where is my superdelegate page with all my fun superdelegate information? I have lost my superdelegate page. I had this great article that I was going to show, and now I can't find it. That's all right. We can talk about it. I'm going to sum up superdelegates very quick. There are delegates. There are superdelegates. There's a large number of them. If we look at how many there are, yes, currently Hillary has a whole shit ton of superdelegates, and Bernie does not. But those superdelegates, and here's where it gets very simple, folks. Those superdelegates are either existing politicians in office now at some federal level or state level, or they're other politically active individuals, judges, mayors, prominent business people looking to get into politics, shit like that. There are people with an interest in keeping their jobs in politics or their jobs related to politics. So what they are is people who are willing to shift based on what's going on, and they're supposed to. They're really supposed to pay attention to what's going on in the people and kind of vote that way. But here's the thing. Even if, let's go this way. If the will of the people is for Bernie Sanders and the DNC forces somehow the superdelegates to go one way or the superdelegates to go one way, look, it's not going to happen, folks. First of all, it's not going to happen. They're going to want to keep their jobs, which is the first thing they're going to do. They want to keep their jobs. You're going to watch them all. Every time in the past. So superdelegates have never decided, first of all, they've never in the history been the deciding factor. And the DNC has never, ever gone against the will of the people. Okay? So those two factors alone. Superdelegates never been the deciding factor. DNC has never gone against the will of the people. It will not happen. If it does, and everybody is saying this, it would be a fucking civil war. It would be all out pandemonium. It would be so blatantly obvious as to the corruption. They wouldn't do it. They couldn't do it. What they will do is split everything up all fucked and go for Bloomberg. Okay. That would be the alternative, and that's an easy win. Celeste, Janine, guys want to comment on that at all? Because that's my simplistic description there of superdelegates.
Yeah, I mean, the superdelegates, basically, they are not committed to anybody technically right now. They have, a lot of them, a good majority of them have said that they are for Hillary as of this moment, but they have up until, I think it's June, up until the convention to change their mind or to change. The thing that I want to stress with the superdelegates is when you watch the corporate media, they will put up these charts and they will show how, coming out of New Hampshire, it was basically a tie because Hillary has 15 and Bernie got 15. No, she didn't. She got, what is it, 9? She got 9 and
7
6.
or 9, yeah.
I think it's 9, and 6 of them are superdelegates. Those superdelegates have not cast any type of vote or anything, and they will not until June. So every one of those 6 superdelegates can change their mind and change to Bernie. So it's the corporate media wants us all to believe that Hillary is still way ahead and, oh, don't even bother voting because it really doesn't matter because we're going to, continue to vote for Hillary. So I just want to stress this. It's not going to matter because Bernie is going to win, and we need to make sure that he wins by such high percentages in each state that he is going to have an overwhelming number of the regular delegate count that she could get every single superdelegate and it won't even touch him. So that's the thing we need to focus on, making sure people get out there and vote. Don't worry about the super delegates because, like I said, they're not committed. And like John said, they can change their vote up until, the last minute. And they should go along with what the people are voting for. The other thing that you can do is many super delegates are your senators, they're your U.S. congressmen. It is okay to contact them and tell them, because we can do this anyway. Ask for them to endorse Bernie, first of all, and then ask for their support as a superdelegate for Bernie Sanders. That is our prerogative to be able to do that. I encourage everyone to do that. We'll be looking to do that here in Rhode Island as well. But I mean, they should follow the will of the people. If they don't, and I don't even know why they still do this, it's just the Democratic Party. The Republican Party doesn't have superdelegates. But I am not currently going to worry about it and really focus a lot of my time on it, other than getting those people to just give Bernie an endorsement or to change their mind to endorse Bernie. But I think we can all ignore what the corporate media is pushing out there, trying to make it seem like Hillary's got this, great lead or she's tied or whatever it is. It's not real.
Right. It's not real. What's happening? Thank you, Janine. Thank you for saying that. What it is a fear tactic. They're freaking out, folks. The establishment is losing their grip. They realize that. They have a choice. They either fall in line with what the populace wants, or they create a new party with Bloomberg. That's what the options are. We're done with the establishment, right? Superdelegates are going to have to choose between establishment paychecks and a job. That's if you want to remain in politics, you're going to have to start acting with integrity, and you're going to stop taking paycheck from corporate interest and establishment interest, and you're going to work for the people. It's a very simple thing for all of the superdelegates, for all of our existing senators and politicians and mayors and judges and cops and all of these people, whoever are listed as superdelegates. You want to keep a job? Then you're going to be a Bernie-crat. You're going to follow the will of the people. You're going to stop taking paychecks from establishment interests. And you're going to fucking have some integrity as a human being when you work for us in the government. That's all the prospect is. I mean, Bernie puts it much more eloquently. But that's basically what the prospect is for people in government right now. You either choose the will of the people and to knock off your corrupt bullshit, or you're gone. We're going to get rid of you. We've learned how to elect who we want in office. Right?
I saw a great meme yesterday.
Yeah?
It was talking about superdelegates, and it was saying that, so you want to vote, it was like something like, you want to vote for Hillary? and then it had a picture of Congress, and it says, well, most of your jobs are up for re-election because every House seat and a third of the Senate seats are up for election this year. So if they don't cast their vote, for Bernie, you can always vote him out.
Yep. It's exactly what it is, folks. We have a choice. Showing some of the memes that came through the other day. I thought these were awesome. This was obviously taken before, but this is a beautiful from BuzzFeed News. I mean, that's just beautiful. Hillary can't match that. George Soros can't write a check as fast as we can fund Bernie Sanders when we need to. Okay? That's the beauty of this, folks. That's the beauty of this.
So just one last thing. Some people have asked about where to find the list of superdelegates. You can go to Wikipedia has a nice list. Just type in Superdelegates 2016. Make sure you're on the 2016 list and not the 2008 list. But that's where you can find it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So there was a couple of the things that I want to talk about. I'm looking at the comments. Thank you for joining us. More than 120 people here live. Thank you for being here on the Real Newsroom today. We've done really good. There hasn't been really any long rants, I don't think, and very few F-bombs today. Really a mild show.
Are you on your best behavior because I'm here?
I'm on better behavior because you're here. That's for sure. Like Janine's here. I got to make sure. And not only that, but when, honestly, when Steph did the card that has me and the Kronka, I have a lot of serious respect for the old journalists, Walter Cronkite, those guys back in that era, who wore their emotions on their sleeve and were able to deliver the news with emotion, with opinion, with integrity in a way that was so professional, so well done. Rob Morrow, Cronkite, I don't know that we have anybody of that caliber today. And I can't deliver that caliber in the current setup. But I'm honored that everybody, that a lot of people think that I fit that I've been called a Cronkite and stuff, and that's just, it makes me, it's awesome. Thank you. And when Steph did that card, I was like, shit, I want that to be that professional. I want that game. My passion, my anger, my what the fuck is going on with this world gets, I lose that. I'm like Spock without the good control. So that's why. But yeah, mostly because you're here, Janine. Really. We're gonna move into, and thank you everybody for your comments. I'm seeing everything in there. Fuck. Nice. So a couple things that I want to talk about. We've got South Carolina coming up after Nevada. Nevada, of course, is important, but the Hillary campaign is already downplaying Nevada, which was, I thought, the firewall, but whatever. South Carolina, everybody is targeting now, and this goes to what Janine was saying about superdelegates and the establishment media and division. Division and distraction. Those are the two primary tactics that the establishment uses through their propaganda machine. Right? You're a divided nation. Blacks against whites, against purples, against gays, against plaids, right? However we can break you up, we're going to break you up. Right? Somehow Bernie Sanders lacks minority support. I don't know where the hell they come up with that shit. Even Van Johnson with CNN was like, I don't know where they're coming up with that. He thinks Bernie's going to get 30% of the black vote in South Carolina easy. And it's because Hillary Clinton and the Clinton family have a terrible record from the 90s, putting a lot of minorities in prison for money. That record's out there. Doesn't matter what the establishment media wants to tell you. And so we're going to talk about that. We've got a clip with Nina Turner from Ed Schultz that I want to run from, it's RT America. What does RT stand for? Anybody?
I think is it Russian television or something? It's like,
really?
Yeah. It's yeah.
Okay,
it's
well, I wanted
those weird channels that I don't know if it's supported by Russia or something like that. There's this, I don't know all the details on it. Yeah, Celeste is saying too, it's Russian television.
Okay, I have no idea if we can play it.
It is Russian-owned television. It is like literally the Russian government owns this broadcast station, and I will tell you, if you watch it, it is much better coverage than what you will get on corporate media of American politics.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not biased because it's not coming from internal.
Well, it's awesome. I mean, that's great. So Ed was on there. I don't know if we can run the clip and we'll get zinged. I'm going to try it. But first we're going to run this clip. You guys ever heard of Represent Us? Represent.us?
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
Okay, so I'm new to these guys and ignorant of it. But he's got this nice little "Corruption is Legal in America." It's a 6-minute clip that I wanted to run, which kind of gives us a framing for looking at some things about Hillary Clinton here that we're going to talk about, and a message from Nina Turner. And there's also a link in there. We may not get to it in time, but a message from a guy named Tim Black for South Carolina voters. I'll probably play it tomorrow. But we're going to focus on that supposed that lack of minority support, and talk a little bit about the truth here, because that's it's just wrong. But I want to. Everything needs to be framed by this: corruption is legal in America, which will lead wonderfully into the ABC piece about Hillary, and a direct example of what this guy explains in his awesome animation. So watch this. I'm going to go get another cup of tea. I'll be right back. Enjoy finding out how corruption is legal in America.
For the last few years, I've had this sense that everything I learned as a kid about how America's government works is completely wrong. But I had no idea how bad things actually were until I saw this one graph. Researchers at Princeton University looked at more than 20 years worth of data to answer a pretty simple question: does the government represent the people? Now, this is what they found. This axis here represents public support for any given idea. On the left, at 0%, are ideas that not a single American wants. On the right, at 100%, are ideas that everyone supports. This axis represents the likelihood of Congress passing a law that reflects any of these ideas, from a 0 to a 100% chance. On this graph, an ideal republic would look like this. If 50% of the public supports an idea, there's a 50% chance of it becoming law. If 80% of us support something, there's an 80% chance. You get the idea. Now, most Americans would probably agree that, with a few exceptions, we should be as close to this ideal as possible. Unfortunately, the way America actually works doesn't even come close. Take an idea that nobody supports, literally nobody, and it has about a 30% chance of becoming federal law. Now, take an incredibly popular idea, the most popular idea this country has ever seen, and there's also about a 30% chance of it becoming law. This means that the number of American voters for or against any idea has no impact on the likelihood that Congress will make it law. Put another way, and I'm just going to quote the Princeton study directly here, the preferences of the average American appear to have only a minuscule, near zero, statistically non-significant impact upon public policy. So if you've ever felt like your opinion doesn't matter and that the government doesn't really care what you think, well, you're right. But there's a catch. This flat line only accounts for the bottom 90% of income earners in America. Economic elites, business interests, people who can afford lobbyists, they get their own line. Look at how much closer their line is to the ideal. When they want something, the government is much more likely to do it. And when they don't, they have the power to completely block it from happening, no matter how much the rest of the country supports it. They get what they want, and guess who ends up paying for it? We pay for it with the most expensive healthcare in the world. We pay for it with a tax code that's a complete mess. We pay for it with internet that's slower and more expensive, with wasteful spending, a floundering education system, a catastrophic drug war, and 1 in 5 American children born into poverty. Almost every major issue we face as a nation can be traced back to this graph. How does this happen? Well, just follow the money. Right now, it's perfectly legal to buy political influence in America. Here's how it works. Let's say a big bank wants a law that would force taxpayers to bail them out again if they repeat the exact same reckless behavior that crashed the global economy in 2008. Not exactly the most popular idea with the public, and Congress knows that. That should be the end of it. But that's where the money comes in. It's perfectly legal for our bank to hire a team of lobbyists whose entire job is to make sure that the government gives the bank what it wants. Then those lobbyists can track down members of Congress who regulate banks and help raise a ton of money for their re-election campaigns. It's perfectly legal for those lobbyists to offer those same politicians million-dollar jobs at their lobbying firm. Then, those lobbyists can literally write the language of this new bailout law themselves and hand it off to the politician they just buttered up with campaign money and lucrative job offers. And it's perfectly legal for those politicians to take the lobbyist-written language and sneak it through Congress at the last second. So now you've got a law that greatly benefits the banks, and the whole process can start over. This is how a bill becomes a law. A special interest hires some lobbyists, those lobbyists collect campaign contributions, offer jobs, and then write the laws that Congress then passes to help those same special interests. This happens every day on every single issue with politicians of both parties. In the last 5 years alone, the 200 most politically active companies in the United States spent $5.8 billion influencing your government. Those same companies got $4.4 trillion in taxpayer support. And that's trillion, with a T. And that's just the top 200 companies. Never mind every other special interest, every union, every trade association, and every billionaire. Every single one of them can use their money to buy political influence. You know, there's this idea out there that this only became a problem after the Supreme Court's Citizens United decision in 2010. But the data goes back almost 40 years, and the results are clear. Corruption is legal in America. And as long as it is, anyone who can spend money to buy political influence will. The solution here isn't rocket science. Make corruption illegal. We already know Congress won't do it. I mean, one look at this chart will tell you that. What we need is a plan that lets us go around Congress and do what the American people do best. Fix this mess ourselves. Well, good news. We have that plan and it's already working. Now that we've got the problem covered, let us show you how to be part of the solution.
Okay. So the first thing about this, I saw a lot of people saying this is blowing my mind, this is awesome, this is crazy. Yes, this blew my mind too, right? Some hard facts, a nice graph, an explanation of the truth. Couple things. This was put out in April of 2015. So this is, you know, I don't know if this is around the time of Bernie, you know, right around Bernie Sanders, April, May, June. Bernie announced in May that I'm aware of. So here's the thing. The plan, if you go to this video, and I think I dropped the other video in here to their website or whatever, listen to the plan, because all it really is what Bernie has told us to do. Elect people into office we want, change the laws. Okay? He's start at the local level, the state level, and do it. That's really what their plan is. And what they did was take one town, one area, and I think it's Tallahassee, Florida, where they did this. They raised the money themselves. They put people in office that were decent people that weren't on the take, and they wrote legislation and they changed law. Oh, look, I'm frozen. That's a terrible frozen screen. Why am I freezing, folks? I hate it when this thing freezes up on me. So, get on with the cussing. Bernie positive cussing. Bernie positive cussing. Fuck yeah, I feel the burn. There you go. That's what you wanted. Now that we've got a nice understanding of how the corruption functions, I'm gonna really tie it all together. Now, this is another video, folks. Let's make sure we didn't get shut for that one. Okay, we're still good. I'm gonna run another video here. This is American Uncensored News. This is how ABC News censored the news to save Hillary Clinton. Okay. I put a link to this. There's some other video in here, but this is an interesting story. Now, this is 8 minutes, all right? But it's worth listening to the whole thing and getting through the edits just to understand what the hell's going on here. Basically, what you're going to hear about is a person who bought influence, right? But then they got screwed with it. So listen to how this happens. But what's more important for us is the trail. When you look at the trail going on here, you're like, fuck. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious what is going on here with the cash, but completely blown off. It's amazing what you'll see here. So check this out. And if it dings us, if we get dinged and it shuts down the stream, we'll create another one and come back on real quick. But it's 10, so I apologize, guys. But hopefully we'll be able to run this. Here we go.
This film documents the 7-year effort of an American citizen to expose the corruption and abuse of power that he personally experienced in his dealings with an American first family. This story is neither partisan nor ideological. It is intended to showcase the threat posed by a political elite that has become unaccountable to the people and above the rule of law.
Amazingly, 10 days after vowing in the Post not to take any money from Peter, Hillary directed her finance director to demand Peter honor the $150,000 pledge he made through Ed Rendell for the privilege of hosting her Spago luncheon and wire untraceable securities to a brokerage account of a New York State party, the Working Family Party, that also supported her candidacy. This effort to make Peter's contribution untraceable, done on the Hillary Clinton for Senate letterhead, was another felony violation of the law.
My reaction to that was, well, why would I send any more money when you vowed not to take any more money from me?
After receiving the Rosen fax asking for more money, Peter insisted that because of the Post articles, he would only agree to Hillary's demands for more money if he had new assurances from the Clintons that their business arrangement was still on target. First, Peter requested that his Japanese partner, Tendo Odo, be allowed to attend the last White House state dinner on September 17, 2000. Just as they had done with Mr. Odo at the gala, Bill and Hillary Clinton ignored White House protocol and were able to accommodate Peter's request.
And seated right behind the Clintons was a Japanese businessman by the name of Tendo Odo, an associate of Paul's, who gave Paul $27,000 to attend the fundraiser. Citizens of foreign countries are prohibited from giving money to federal campaigns. Odo told 2020 he was unaware the $27,000 sent to Paul could be considered an illegal contribution. You told Mrs. Clinton's staff you had $27,000 from a Japanese citizen.
Right. And ultimately, they promised to invite Mr. Odo to the last state dinner at the White House.
Normally, foreign nationals from countries not being honored are not allowed to attend state dinners at the White House. However, as a further affirmation of their commitment to a business relationship with Peter, the Clintons not only allowed Odo to attend, he was accorded special VIP treatment.
And sure enough, 2 months later, there was Odo attending the state dinner for the Prime Minister of India.
In the middle, there's a statement attributed to, down here, I can give you my highlighted. Oh, great. A statement attributed to a spokesman for Mrs. Clinton's Senate campaign saying, Stan Lee donated $100,000 to cover some expenses for the event. Have you ever...
That has to be the check that I gave Peter.
Okay.
And for which I received one immediately in return.
Okay.
I never had $100,000 to donate to anybody.
Now, what we're looking at here is the largest election law fraud in the history of the United States.
And he told the feds that the Clinton campaign lied about it.
Don't tell everything.
But now, in a remarkable falling out, Peter Paul has filed a lawsuit against the Clintons in California State Court because, he says, the Clintons double-crossed him.
And I delivered a demand letter to Hillary Clinton. We had filed the civil suit against the Clintons, which detailed all the money that I'd spent with copies of checks and invoices. The fact that you are probably not aware that this landmark litigation is now proceeding in a California court indicates how effective the Clintons have been in thwarting the media from exposing the facts on the public record that would normally end any politician's career and land them in jail.
The media have not abrogated their responsibilities uniquely in the case of Hillary Clinton. They always have a tendency to fear power and to suck up the power.
And now, from Times Square in New York.
ABC 2020 took the story and sent Brian Ross down to Brazil. So Brian Ross, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, there we are. This is the same one. Huh?
You going to vote Democrat next time?
Is this the same camera you used for
yeah, this
Hillary?
is it.
Wow. You know, for right. Are we set?
Yeah. Our lead story is a startling new accusation against the former First Family. It's a bizarre story. It seems to be a tale of a hustler who says he was out-hustled by the hustler-in-chief.
You're going to sue former president?
Yes.
Senator Clinton?
Correct.
And the people on the staff who were involved?
The ABC 2020 piece that came out was edited at the last moment by Disney brass that had flown in when they'd heard about this piece. And they took out of it any reference whatsoever to David Rosen, who was the key figure that linked Hillary's campaign with everything that I did. He was the fellow that was working out of my office. And suddenly, his name wasn't anywhere to be found in the piece.
Another amazing part of the great Hillary cover-up relates to how the Disney owners of ABC's 2020 edited the original Brian Ross program the day before its broadcast to hide Peter's accusations against Hillary's finance director, David Rosen, by editing out more than 13 of Peter's references to David Rosen.
David Rosen was the director of finance. They knew it. David Rosen knew it. Hillary knew it. They all knew it. And I spoke to Rosen about David Rosen to the effect that I yelled at David Rosen about how much it was costing. David Rosen, collaborative effort between the president, Mrs. Clinton, Jim Levin, and David Rosen. David Rosen escorted Mr. Odo through Secret Service's David Rosen. David Rosen, David Rosen, David Rosen, David Rosen, David Rosen, David Rosen.
This edited program was then used as evidence in court by Rosen to attack Peter's credibility by showing that Peter did not accuse him of any wrongdoing in his 2020 interview. David Rosen coerced Peter to donate more than $700,000 more than he had originally agreed with Jim Levin, with threats of Peter losing his investment in the Clinton relationship and the Clintons accusing him of sabotaging Hillary's campaign. He agreed.
They knew that it had a value to them. They promised to do certain things. They reneged on their promise.
That was just a business deal.
Yeah.
The media has been complicit with the Clintons all along to hide their responsibility for a variety of misconduct. Getting tired?
No.
All right. Give you guys some time to digest the rest of that. Get my volume up here. While we were watching that video and learning the history of, you know, there was so much going on in there, folks. I saw a lot of conversation about, you know, this looks like a conservative piece and whatnot, but the couple things here. I saw some people saying this is Hillary bashing or we shouldn't be talking about Hillary. This show is called The Real Newsroom. It's about telling the truth. And the truth is that the Clinton family was already busted for violating campaign rules, campaign finance rules. They were busted for doing the very thing we are calling the entire establishment out for. They were busted for doing the thing that she says, I don't understand why Bernie Sanders calls me establishment. It's because you use money in politics, Hillary. This is another incident where she was fined $35,000. Did you hear that? They were fined money for violating campaign rules, but they weren't charged to the full extent of the law. They were able, because they were rich, they are white, they are 1%, and they are privileged. They managed to skate, and this woman managed to maintain political office, and this woman managed to run for president of the United States. I'm sorry, she is disqualified. She lacks the integrity, the ethics, the morals to run. That is not bashing. That is simply a statement of truth. When you look at things like this, when you understand how corruption occurs with money in politics, and then you watch a story where her family, where she was able to skate on the law, because of her status of privilege, her money. It's just absolutely disgusting. And that's why I cover it, because for those who possibly watch this program who are Hillary supporters, I keep asking you to please come here. Please share these videos with people who are Clinton supporters, people that you know are still voting for Hillary Clinton. Let them, I want them here. I want them to actually give me a good reason why. I want them to watch these videos. And then I want to say, knowing what you know now about Hillary's history in campaign finance corruption, her history in the 90s with her husband of putting more minorities in prison than had ever been there before for things like weed, are you still going to vote for her? Are you still going to vote for her? What exactly is she giving you? How much? That's what I want to know. Anybody still voting for Hillary, how much? Because if you can't give me a reason besides that, then you haven't looked at the facts. That's why we discuss these things. You haven't looked at it. Yes, the Clinton family should be in jail. Quite frankly, the Clinton family, all of the Bush family, Jeb too, should be in jail. Who's come on? Who wants to say something so I can stop ranting for a moment?
I would just like to add to that. There are a lot of Bernie supporters who are your traditional Democrats, and we're not trying to scare any of them away, by saying some of these things. But at the same time, there's a lot of people. I 100% believe Bernie's going to win the nomination.
Yes.
If for some reason Hillary does win, there are a lot of people who will back her because they don't want to see a Republican win, because there's a lot at stake, including the appointment of some Supreme Court justices. So just throwing that out there. I know a lot of us here want to do everything we can to make sure that we don't have to make that Sophie's choice. Let's just make sure that Bernie gets elected, and then we don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely, of course. If you're one of those persons, I won't be with you there. I can't vote for Hillary. I can't vote for the establishment, no matter who it is, in the hopes of a better government. I will not allow things to stay the same personally. I can understand where that comes from. And yeah, this channel, the purpose of Bernie 2016 TV and the volunteer group is to support Bernie, is to talk about why we need to make these changes. So yeah, I understand. We don't want to scare anybody away in that regard. That's what we're here
Plus,
for.
we want to make sure that, and think it through, said it in the chat room too. When Bernie wins, we want to make sure that Hillary supporters come over and help us elect Bernie.
Right.
So we need to convince those people of why he's the better candidate.
Well, and a lot of them outside of the corporations are going to be superdelegates and other establishment individuals or people that, we're going to need to. That's a good point to bring up, Janine, because what we're really saying here, and I want to make sure this is clear, to say, look, we're done with the establishment means we're done with the establishment ways of doing things. But the establishment is comprised of human beings. Right? Yes, there are a lot of human beings that need to be in prison. There's a lot of human beings, like the entire city government of Flint. All of them need to be put in prison. I can't even believe what's going on there. I was going to talk about that a little bit. I don't know how much time we're going to have because I want to cover a couple of the things that I promised I would. But the human beings are the ones that need to be. We don't want to disenfranchise them. We don't want to be hypocritical and do to them what's been done to the 99. We just want them to understand you need to come around to the way it's going to be. You need to come around to reality, which is you're not going to have elite status anymore. You're not going to run our government with exchanges of funds. You're not going to put your profit and your corporate interest above us ever again. And if you can agree to work that way with us, if you can agree to follow these rules, to work with the system as we want it to be, the majority, the people, because this is a democracy, then awesome. Let's reform your business. Let's reform the laws. Let's apply regulation, and let's get to work. Let's get back to business. That's what it's about. It's about belonging. It's about everybody feeling included. Criminals got to go to jail. Okay, Rick Snyder got to go to jail. The entire Bush family, Clinton family should go to jail. Okay? There's a lot of people should be in prison. Basically, there should be a vast exchange between minorities and a lot of rich, privileged white people in prison. That's what should happen. And then we shouldn't be paying for them to be there. That should just come out of whatever money they have sitting around in the Caymans. They can pay for it themselves sitting in prison because they have abused us and abused their power as elite white people for a long time. Okay, that's where that needs to go. But everybody else, the rest of us, the workers, the people that have been in these establishments, doing the jobs, working the things, who can say, yeah, you know, this is okay with me. We can do business this way. I understand. I get it. Okay. Great. Let's change the country and let's move on, because it should be about belonging. And that's the message of the love train that Cornel West says so well. Who popped in? Who wants to say?
Oh, just me again. I do have a theory about one of the reasons the numbers of people voting in the Democratic Party in Iowa and New Hampshire is because those are traditional Democratic voters maybe not showing up because potentially Hillary hasn't motivated them enough to get out and vote, and they still haven't been sure about Bernie. So that's my theory for the decrease in number we were talking about earlier. But those are the people I think we need to really try to focus on convincing them why Bernie's such a great candidate and making sure that they come out and vote.
I like it. Yeah. Boots on the ground, phone banking. We're going to plan that phone bankathon, Janine. Mm-hmm. We've got to do that. We have momentum. It's clear. We have the momentum. We have to keep that momentum. We're going to do this, folks. We've done everything they said we couldn't so far, and we've done it better and bigger than they said we couldn't so far. So every time they're like, they won't be able to, just go, what is that? Let's write that down and go do that. That's how we should build our list of accomplishments. Everything the establishment says we won't be able to do, let's just make a list and go do it. And do it better than they said we could do it. They won't be able to outraise Hillary. Remember when they were saying there's no way? Who was the asshole in Salon? There's no way they'll be able to outraise Hillary Clinton. What do the emails from Hillary Clinton say these days? We've been outraised. We've been outspent 3-1. The latest one says Bernie outspent her 3-1 in ads. She's trying to make that look bad. It's like, hey, bitch, you're the one who came up with the system. We're just working with it. You know, you're the one who came up with the got to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on ads. We're just working within your system so we can fix it. And Bernie, we're going to fund him all the way. That's really what's going on. What?
Did you happen to see the hashtag yesterday? What was it? I'm not kidding, Maddie.
Yeah, I did.
If you guys didn't check that out, some really funny stuff. Go check it out. And then somebody created the website maddysdollar.com.
Oh gosh.
Which goes directly to donate to Bernie. So I love the internet some days, and last night I was loving the internet.
Please donate to Maddie's Dollar now. Oh my God. I didn't get one of those emails. Did you get one of the Maddie emails?
I didn't get I didn't get the I'm not kidding emails. I wish I had, because I would have taken like a picture of it.
Oh man, yeah. I looked as soon as I saw it. I'm like, because I get, we get the emails. I didn't get that one. I got we've been outspent 3-1. He's spending ridiculous amounts of money. Isn't that just sick? How much money he's spending? I'm like, are you kidding?
Well, he certainly has it.
He does, and we will keep piling it on him, however much he needs. That's what we do. I want to just wrap into this real quick, because this is actually more important than the next thing we're going to talk about, and then we're going to end with Disability TV and their badass video. But really quick, folks, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about the minority vote and the black vote, and we're going to watch 2 videos about that tomorrow, just because I want to shift all of that. Couple things. Celeste got a retweet or a connect or something, right, Celeste, from this guy, Yanis Varoufakis. He is Greece's former finance minister. Do you want to chat about that? You want to say something about it, Celeste?
Yeah, I was just going to say I want to thank you guys because without Bernie TV, that would have never happened. I was fucking blown away at 2 o'clock in the morning when I got that retweet. For those of you that do not know about this gentleman, he was part of the effort in Greece a couple of years ago to encourage the Greek people to stand up to the EU, who's been effectively, strangling their treasury to pay off banksters for loans that were made that caused, much of the Greek crisis, in addition to what was going on in the 2008, global financial crisis, because that crisis affected the world. It wasn't just us. Anyway, if you get an opportunity to check into him, he is starting a party up to help put the EU in better shape and ditch the austerity policies that are being enforced upon the EU nations. And the banksters are wanting the EU nations with the social safety nets to start cutting those safety nets to effectively pay the banksters. So he's definitely someone to watch and learn about as a global leader. He is someone of integrity. The Greek people voted with the Syriza party and elected them to office, and they were standing up to Angela Merkel and Germany and the EU on these Greek debts. And effectively, the head of the party succumbed to the EU pressure and bought into selling out the people. And Giannis said, the hell with that, and he quit. He literally walked away, got on a motorcycle, and drove off. And he said he was not going to sell out the people that had risked so much to put them in power. So he's someone globally that we need to pay attention to and learn about and support, in my opinion. Thanks, John.
Yep. Well, and tell them the cool part that what did he do with on Twitter? How did you guys get?
Well, they did a forum, and I highly suggest everybody go watch it because it talks about what they're trying to start over in the EU, which is called Diem. And I basically tweeted something to him about the people are ready for the peaceful political revolution, and he retweeted my tweet. And I'm sorry, I don't usually brag about shit, but that was fucking awesome to have a world leader retweet my tweet on a peaceful political revolution. And it's been shared quite a bit by any number of people in any number of countries. And it's just like, I thank you all, because that's what happens in this political revolution that we're getting involved with each other globally.
Thanks, Celeste. Yeah, that is awesome. That is badass. I that we can be connected together like this socially over words, phrases, images. That's the key, the beauty of the internet. The internet has become the cohesion for the people, and the establishment have ignored that. And that's why we're able to do this. So that's really cool. And we're gonna learn more about this guy and what he's got going on. Really, really quick. Breaking news, folks. Big ass, massively huge news that we will definitely make a big story tomorrow. And I was going to pull it up. Go look right now at the fact that scientists have announced that they have discovered gravitational waves. This is, for any of you who are geeks, who understand what this means, and I'll just, okay, that's calculus on my arm. I was an applied mathematics guy in college, physics. What this means, folks, what this means is now that we can detect gravity, we have seen the gravity wave. We've been looking for this for a long time, since Einstein's relativity calculations. It was a missing piece. He's like, it should be there. We should be able to see it. And everybody's like, we can't see it. It doesn't exist. We can't find it. We don't know how to find it. All the money that we poured into science, the equipment. We needed equipment so detailed, so fine. Now we've seen it. What does this mean? We can harness it. We can use it. We can figure out how to work with it. That's what makes this badass. Anti-gravity, folks. When you can detect it, you can manipulate it. That's where we're going. And all sorts of this changes everything in fucking physics. They don't even fucking know what this is going to change in physics. This is massive. This is huge.
Even Einstein didn't think that we would ever be able to detect it.
Yep. I got a lot of people coming in right as we're going to end the show. I'm not quite sure why, but that's okay. We're about ready to knock out, guys. But yeah, that was huge news. Scott, is there anything you want? Scott is on scene in Milwaukee. He's going to be delivering a feed for us for the debate. Scott, did you have anything you want to say? You just kind of hang out there?
Both Ryan and I are in the room filing center.
Oh, that's why Ryan's here. All right. Hey, how you doing there?
Hey, John.
So, hey, everybody. This is, I'll just put together. So there's Scott and there's Ryan. Ryan, you've seen both on Bernie 2016 TV. They are now in the spin room for the debate tonight that we will be bringing you. So this is going to be badass, folks. We're going to have Scott and Ryan bringing us interviews and stuff pre-game, pre-show from the spin room, and obviously in post. You guys, yeah, so in post, and we'll have the debate to watch from PBS.
They did agree.
Well, it's broadcast on their stream, their live stream.
Okay.
So, it's not a CNN feed, so we should be able to carry it. And we'll know, on that note, we'll know, folks, right away. So if we start to carry it, but we'll know in YouTube before we even go live with you if it's going to let us carry it, and so we'll know right away. But either way, we've got these guys to give us spin room before and afterwards, and there's there. Is there anything going on, guys, that you want to talk about right now?
Hey, John, can I interrupt? I want to ask Ryan a question.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you feeling fucking badass, brother? Did you ever imagine you would be doing what you're doing?
No, not at all. It's super cool. There's free food, Celeste. It's amazing.
Nice.
Thank you, Ryan. Enjoy yourself. I'm really, really envious, but you have a
definitely
badass time.
I will. Thanks, Celeste.
So there you go. That was a great. Nice question. Very, very properly phrased journalistic question, Celeste. There's Scott. There's Ryan. 2 VVT volunteers helping us with the political revolution. You guys are fucking badass. Thank you for being there.
This TV screen in front of me is a bad idea. That's why I'm so dark.
Well, we can see the blue reflection in your glasses. It's kind of cool looking, actually. So, well, once you guys are set up, we will. Who knows when we'll come back on? Remember, we've got We the People first, folks, and we always have to. If you're going to join us for the debate, please join us for We the People. Jeff Young from Kentucky, 6th district candidate. When we watch that movie. Hey Scott, turn it mute thyself so we can not hear the TV anymore. When we watched that little piece earlier by Represent Us, they what they talked about was a plan. Okay, and now I've completely lost track to where I was going there because I need to get this audio out. Where's that audio coming from? Is that
Ryan.
Ryan. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we got to mute them guys. They have no way of canceling out the background stuff, what's going on. But anyway, completely lost track of where I was going. Apologize deeply. That happens to me sometimes. Tonight, join us. Oh, Jeff Young. That's what the hell I was talking about. Watch us, 7 p.m. Eastern. It may cut into, it's not going to cut into any pre-show for the debate, but what we'll do is we're watching, there's no establishment stuff going on at that point. 7 p.m. Eastern, join us talking to Jeff Young from Kentucky with Nico Nolan, one of our most experienced reporters and interviewers. She's going to talk to him about Kentucky, what's going on there. This guy's MIT grad. He's a Bernie-crat. He's smart. He needs our help, and we need to get him in office. He's fighting some major establishment people, but he has a chance there. So join us at 7, and then we're just going to, what's going to happen, we're going to cut right from that. I know the start time on our debate says 8:30. I'm going to do my best to get the We the People unloaded and get the debate loaded in, and come online as fast as we can so that we can bring you pre-show with Scott and Ryan before we watch the debate. So join us for both, and we'll see you. We'll see you then. I want to, and I'm just looking at all the comments here. Thank you guys for all the support. Scott, Ryan, just know that everybody says you're badasses, and we love the fact that you're there. BTV fucking rules. There's all sorts of wonderful chat. I don't know if you're looking at the chat, but it's wonderful. Thank you guys for being there and doing that. Remember, nobody gets paid here, folks. Nobody gets paid. So these guys are doing all this shit on their own dime. Celeste, everybody here, all of you, of course, we're building this. This revolution is paid for by the people, right? None of us is a super PAC. None of us is a super PAC. Really quick, we're going to talk about two more things. We're going to talk about cannabis, because somebody asked me to talk about cannabis, and they asked me in a letter, and I'm getting so many beautiful emails and letters from you guys. And it's really awesome that I can try to act on them. I just know that I have a backlog of your emails. I have a backlog of your messages, and I try to go through them and respond to them and say things and do shit like this. So this is, I don't even know who you were that sent this in, but I responded to you in email, but this was your email just to talk about Tom. You gave me all these great links. Talk about Tom Ritchie. We'll do that more. I looked up this Allie person from New Jersey, and so we're going to look at her. But it wanted me to talk about cannabis. I am a cannabis user, both recreationally, and I have epilepsy. I've had it all my life. I've tried all sorts of interesting drugs for the epilepsy, and cannabis is what works. I also have a really strange mind. A lot of you are like this. I think it's a whole different generation of people. I love you too. Thank you so much, Tor. I love all you guys. Hey, Nebraskans for Sanders. Good to see you guys in there. We are Bernie Super PAC. That's exactly what we are. Listen, I'm a big cannabis advocate. I grew up in the Just Say No years, and I still deal with my own indoctrination, believing that cannabis is a criminal thing. I know it's not. I've smoked it all my life. I grow it now. I waited till it was legal to grow, believe it or not. Before then, I was going to a dealer, which was illegal. I still go to my dealer because he's a Vietnam vet, and he uses that cash to supplement what he really doesn't get from the VA. And if you saw this guy, you'd want to help him too. But he's a great friend, good guy. I also just started going to cannabis stores. I was afraid to go. I felt, so it's like, don't go in there. Almost the same aversion of going in like a strip club. I don't go to those either. I've had a couple friends in my 20s and 30s try to take me to the fun of a strip club, and I don't get it. No offense to anybody who digs them, I just don't get it. Very, very uncomfortable, and maybe that's my Catholic fucked up upbringing that whatever. But that's another piece. The first cannabis cafe I went to, I didn't have a good experience. Maybe I was tense or uncomfortable, but it wasn't a great experience, and I felt like I was being judged because I wasn't a medical patient. Right? And they in Oregon, they have this little front area, kind of like a doctor's office, and then a wall, and then this really high-level security door, and you have to go through the security door, and then you're in the cannabis room, which is ridiculous. But I get it, whatever. They got to do these things until the federal government pulls its head out of its ass with cannabis. The second two places I went to, very different experience. And I told them, the second place I went to, I said, look, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, I feel guilty being here. I feel like I'm happy going to a dealer. It feels more comfortable to go to a dealer, the guy that I know, and hand him the money than it does to go into a store and buy cannabis, even though it's no different now, or it should be no different in my mind than everybody else's mind, going into the store and buying a 6-pack of beer. And I'm a raging alcoholic, which is why I don't drink. And, I used to do that all the time. But cannabis is weird, right? For me, it is. That's indoctrination. What I'm feeling right there, folks, is indoctrination. That's how hard it is to fight. Somebody who watches mainstream media and believes what they believe, believes what they say, that's what we're fighting, that indoctrination. I felt like a criminal in that store, which is fucking ridiculous, right? But I want to say thank you to Maritime Cafe and the guys at Maritime Cafe, because they made me feel at ease. He laughed with me, said, I totally get it. This kid may be 25, 28 years old, right? I'm 46. But we talked about weed. I talked about the fact that I grow, which I can say. It's not, you can't not talk about that. And a year ago, in the indoor plant grow room store that I go to, you can't talk about it. They were not allowed to talk about it. If I were going to talk about growing plants, it had to be my vegetable plants, my fruit plants, my tomato plants. Yeah, the special tomato plants I'm growing. But you couldn't say the cannabis that I'm growing at my house. But now I can walk into a store and say these things. It's amazing what the indoctrination does from the just say no era. That this is wrong, it's bad, it's illegal. And that's bullshit. It's an amazing, beautiful, beautiful plant. I love growing it. So I want to say thank you to the Maritime Cafe, and I want to say thank you to Little Amsterdam, this place. And I told both of the guys that I talked to that I would say thank you to them, because they really made me feel, again, they made me feel comfortable. As an old man going into a place, feeling like I was buying, I don't know, nudie magazines at the age of 12. That's really how it made me feel. So I just wanted to talk about that, and I wanted to talk about this girl who was suggested that we get in touch with. Anybody who is a cannabis advocate, this is Allie in Weedyland, and I like anybody that has the courage to just talk about that. She's a medical marijuana patient. She talks about it. She helps dispel myths. She helps people feel more comfortable with it. Just a little quick reference. My mother died of cancer. It was horrific. I was with her and her caretaker for the majority of the last days, and had she been smoking cannabis, I truly believe had she been allowed to use cannabis years earlier, things would have been much different. But that's neither here nor there. She was interested, she was intrigued by it, she was thinking about it, but because it was illegal, she wasn't willing to go there. And that's that indoctrination, that's that feeling. So I just had to talk about that, talk about cannabis. It's yeah, CBD healing, yeah, yeah. It's and Celeste, you know, it's illegal where she is. My seizures, I used to take Dilantin, Tegretol, a couple other things. I have grand mals. They're sleep related, REM sleep related, and they fuck me up. I don't know if anybody knows what they do, but they fuck me up. On cannabis, I have about 4 a year, and that really cuts down the amount of seizures that I have. 4 a year I can deal with. Okay, so that's Dilantin and Tegretol ruin your gums, your liver, make you feel tired, and really aren't the best for brain function. So that's where I'm at. Pharma needs to go back to the nature to learn about stuff. Anyway, enough talk about that shit. Bernie is badass. This channel is badass. We're going to bring you some wonderful stuff today. You guys are badass. So glad to have you all here with us. I don't know how many people are here with us right now, and I know I'm running over. It's like 10:34. I totally ran this late. Somebody's coming in. Uh-oh. Computer's acting funky. What's going on here?
We have 108 watching right now.
108. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. The computer froze. You know why it froze? Because the Google Calendar had to tell me that something was coming up, and I have no idea what it is. What's coming up? Something's happening today. But thank you. 108 watching. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate that.
Can I mention one thing?
Yes, please. Please.
I just wanted to, and you guys will probably end up talking about this tomorrow, but there's some chat online and everything about this Congressional Black Caucus endorsement. Yes. Yes. And I want to make it clear that the Congressional Black Caucus that endorsed Hillary is the PAC. It is not the Congressional Black Caucus that's part of Congress. And the way the media is portraying this, it's ridiculous right now. It is the PAC that has endorsed Hillary. Again, it's establishment, you know. and I hope you can get into it again tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about it later on today. But
Yes.
there are members of the actual Congressional Black Caucus, such as Barbara Lee, who are not endorsing Hillary. And it's kind of like, to them, by the media portraying that it's all of them who are giving this endorsement, it's another way that the corporate media is trying to spin things. But I want to throw that out there. Maybe we can talk about it at a later point. But one of the things I think that's going to be important when we start talking about South Carolina is that, and people have been talking about it, this firewall, and I think I said it yesterday. I don't think Hillary should be talking about firewalls, given her server, that was in her bathroom or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of people are saying that I don't understand this whole thing where you can take a whole group of people, whether it be African Americans or Hispanics or whoever it is, and then just treat them as all the same, right? They are individuals who have their own feelings, their own beliefs, and to see that you can group them all together and expect them to vote the same way, it just pisses me off. And it's like, a lot of people are out there saying, you have to earn my vote just like any other American.
Yep.
And then for any candidate like Hillary Clinton to just say, oh yeah, don't worry, those people are going to vote for me because they've traditionally voted for a Clinton in the past, is ridiculous. So anyway, I'll leave it there. But just be careful what you hear in the media. Make sure that because they'll spin things obviously the way that they want it to be spun. But just throwing that out there.
Thank you. No, it's such a. Go ahead.
Can I jump in for 1 second and trail off on Janine? I just dropped a link into the YouTube chat. That is an article that was written by Michelle Alexander. She wrote the book The New Jim Crow, and she clearly goes through the Clinton record on what they have and have not done for Black people, and it ties right into what Janine was talking about. They have to earn the vote of the Black population, both candidates, but she really goes into what the Clintons did and have done to the Black community since many of the laws that Bill signed into office. So I put that link into the YouTube chat, and I'll drop it again as soon as I mute myself. Thank you.
Yeah, but okay, so on the one hand, I do agree with Celeste that article does lend credence to the discussion of the Clintons and minorities. But I think what Janine was speaking of was actually something a little bit bigger than that. It was something a little higher than that, which is the fact that they attempt to group us by these divisions and expect those divisions to vote a particular way, that we can even judge that we can even come up with statistics, speaks to the whole bullshit of any of this. Yes, we can look at the history of the Clintons in terms of minorities and prisons, and that is where this article is relevant. But it's also a part of the problem. It's also a part of the division when it comes to what Janine was speaking of, which was really about claiming that because a group of minorities, as we've divided you amongst yourselves in establishment media, supposedly all voted away. The fact that we can make the predictions is what say, oh, blacks are going to vote this way, whites are going to vote this way, rich are going to vote this way, gay are going to vote this way. That's the systemic division issue,
right,
in our establishment government. Correct, Janine?
Right, and New Hampshire showed that wasn't the case. They expected certain groups or groupings of people to vote specific ways, and it didn't show to be the case at all. And again, with people of color and, expecting that a certain candidate is going to get the vote. These are individual people who have their own beliefs and their own feelings and their, I think the way that it kind of pisses me off the way that people of color get treated, by the media and by these certain candidates, and saying that there's this group think, or they're all going to do the same thing. And it's just really annoying. And even Aniko in the behind the scenes in the chat room is saying how, Hillary's got this firewall, blah, da, 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 da. And then they don't mention anything about the huge press that Bernie's getting in Nevada and places like Arizona, because they don't want that to be known. You know, so they use it for their own benefit.
We ran a portion of that clip from Nico yesterday, and showed Nico's footage of all of those people in Arizona. It's exclusive footage that Nico dropped to us. We ran about, I don't know, 10 minutes of it yesterday.
And like I mentioned the other night, Man Jones said that he thinks that Bernie could get over 30%, especially with young African Americans, and it could be just like New Hampshire, where young women were totally for Bernie when people thought that women would be for Hillary. That young African Americans, we might find out, are for Bernie too when we get.
Exactly. Yeah, and every once in a while, I don't know why I do this to myself, I go and I check out Hillary's Twitter feed, but you know, some of the tweets that were out there, you know, to me, it's, I don't know, it's almost like this parade of, oh, look who I have, you know, endorsing me, look who I have endorsing me, you know, and it's kind of like stop the condescension, you know, cut it out. And I don't know, I could go on, but I will stop there.
If you want to rant, you have to join us tonight. We'll definitely be doing a
I'm going to be phone banking.
Well, I'm just telling you, we used up all our time today on the newsroom, unless we're going to turn this into a 2-hour show. But yes, listen, what Janine has to say is absolutely true. And this is why she's phone banking. Okay, this is why she's phone banking, because it's the best way to really dispel the myths, to get in touch. Just that connect, just that contact is oftentimes enough to get people to lean one way or the other, or to make a choice, or to at least know that the Bernie team gives a shit, right? We're going to talk more about that tomorrow for sure, because there's a lot of information there, and I hope Janine can join us. I hope Celeste can join us. That's a big issue. That's a difficult issue. All of that, the division has to stop. But we're used to that. We've been taught to think in these categories. You're a part of this group and that group. I'm a part of the older nerd group, right? I don't know. We got to stop the division in these terms and look at ourselves as the 99, the less fortunate, the people that recognize that the planet's going to die, and that we have to work together to fix that, and we have to figure out who's with us and who's not with us, and we have to move forward. That's really what it all comes down to. Thank you guys. Yeah, Janine, Celeste, Scott, Ryan, and Nico. I see your comments in here. Audience, who's been making some fantastic discussions and comments and reading everything in here. Thank you so much. 2 hours when John feels like. Yeah, sorry, Janine. If you want to keep going, you can. I often forget that we don't have any network we have to bow down to. So please, if you want to come on in and rant, I should have just let you. I apologize.
No, I'm good. And just one last comment.
Yes.
Spending a lot of time on the ground, I have met people from all backgrounds, like guys in like suits and wool coats that probably are like way beyond what anyone would want to spend, come over to me and say they're Bernie supporters.
Wow.
All colors, all backgrounds, you know, all ages. So again, this politics of division, I think, needs to end.
Yes. That's it. That's the politics of division needs to end. That's how they keep us from moving forward as a world, is by insisting that we are divided. But I think the votes in New Hampshire clearly state we are no longer divided the way they think we are. And we will choose not to be divided the way they insist we are. We're going to vote as a people, vote together. I think we made that very clear, right? Yes, we can. Well, thank you guys. I'm glad you love our shows. Somebody said there was Robin Morris, and I don't know where it was, and I missed it, and it was good. Yes, we will be doing. Can you do some interviews during the day for you? Can Reiner Scott do that? Maybe. We're gonna have some interviews tonight. They're sitting there. They're gonna come on live and join us tonight right after We the People. So we're gonna come on as quick as we can. Glad to have you all in there. The last thing we're gonna do and play, we're gonna go out with the theme song for Disability TV. Now, this is the whole thing that happened here is an example of how badass the 99 are, how awesome the volunteers in the BTV group are, and the audience is. Because this is a volunteer, Denise Silva. She's disabled. She came into our group. She said, I'm disabled, can't really do a lot of groundwork for you. Happy to do this with you. What do you want to do? She's been helping us. She got trained in comments. She's a comment mod. She's been a co-host. I think she's been a show host already. And she said, I want to do my own show. When she came into the group, that was what she said. So I want to do a show about disabled people. And I said, great. Anybody that wants to do a show has to build a crew, put together all the elements of the show, show me that you got your shit together, go through all the training, learn how to become a BTV volunteer, which includes a lot of practice, a lot of shows, putting in a lot of time. And she did all of that. And I got busy running around doing all the shit we're doing, and you saw how crazy shit's been in the last couple weeks, and I completely forgot about Disability TV. And I figured that because things had been so shit crazy, that Denise had also put that on the shelf. But no, she's been working on that, because that's how badass the 99 are. And Bernie is maybe the only politician that actually has addressed disabilities. And we've got that web page up here. Now, I cannot speak at all to what his statements are, what his plans are, what he says, what he doesn't say. I'm going to let Denise do all that when she starts her show, which we have planned for February 20, I don't know.
24th, I believe.
24th, February 24th, folks, is the first Disability TV. Denise has put together a crew with volunteers from the BTV group, with people from outside the BTV group that have written an entire song, with volunteers from around the world, like Steph, who helped put together this video, I believe, make graphics for it. I don't even, the truth is, I don't have any idea how many people in total have been involved in putting Disability TV together. All I know is that I told one person, if you're going to do it, you need to do all this shit. I can't have anything to do with it. Let me know when you're ready. And she said, okay, and did it. That's the badassery of the 99. And so I'm looking forward, we are looking forward together to bringing you Disability TV, produced, created by Denise Silva. And this is the song we're going out on, folks. It's their theme song. I already told her she's got to come up with a 30-second or 1-minute version of the intro. This one here is the full theme. It's kind of like you know what this reminds me of? Is the entirety of the Friends theme song, which is actually an entire song, and then they do a little short version of it. This is badass. This is beautiful. There's so much work done to this. There's so much editing time into this. I have no idea when these people did this, folks, because they've all been in the back end of BTV grinding their ass too. So, absolutely fucking amazing. Just honored to be here with you all. Honored to have you here in the audience. Thank you so much for making this real. Because without an audience, it's just a bunch of people broadcasting to the air. And it's much more fun when we have a conversation. Tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, Jeff Young on We the People. Right after that, we'll jump into live coverage from Milwaukee with Ryan and Scott, and then we will have the debate, at least momentarily. Hopefully we'll be able to carry the full thing throughout the show. Thank you for joining us today on The Real Newsroom. Let me just get it all framed. You guys are badass. Love you all. Feel the burn.
Doors wide open, looking to the ground. Time to jump, turn back around. Got a feeling that this can really be just one step forward. I'll be free, I'll be free. they know which way to go down these so many roads. You go your way, I go mine. Maybe they'll come together some other times. I'm ready. Be who I am, I'm ready. Come if you can. I'm ready to be free. I'm ready.
Huge